Hello, brother sewing and crafting family. Angela Wolf here, and I'm so excited to hang out with you today. Wait till you see the project that I did for you today. Now, originally, I was going to do a car seat wrap for the kids, but that's coming up later. I had some ideas on the fit. I really didn't like the full circle, but as I was doing it, I put the full circle for this little hoodie for my nieces, and they're like, Christmas tree skirt. I thought, wait a minute, I need a Christmas tree skirt. So that's what we're doing today. So welcome, say hi. Boy, you know how to make a girl feel the love. Thank you all for the wonderful birthday wishes. I can't think of a better day than hanging out with you. So today so far, when I changed my mind on the project that I'm going to share with you today, I went to our local fabric store. By the way, ours is brand new and it's absolutely gorgeous. I even saw some brother machines in there. Yay. But anyways, I realized black sweaters do not work with a bunch of furry fabrics. This is what we're going to be working with today. So if I start looking a little hairy by the end of our project today, you know why. You know why. So, excuse me. If you've never been here before, say hi, say where you're from. I've got my tea. I hope you do too. We're live streaming on Brother Facebook and YouTube channel. And today we're making a tree skirt. Now, I'm going to, of course, share a few cool features on the Brother Luminaire, but you can use any Brother sewing machine for this. You could even add embroidery, but I'm going to keep it super simple, and then I'll let you take it to the nth degree. So I don't know about you, but for the last, oh gosh, how long have we lived in our house? A long time. Every year I put the same Christmas tree up, and every year I say, I need a Christmas skirt. And instead, a Christmas tree skirt, that is, instead I end up taking a batch of fabric and wrapping it around the bottom. So not this year. I'm going to surprise Win. I even hung curtains yesterday. He's going to think that like something crazy is going on, but the tree's going to look awesome. So I am using some luxurious fabrics mixed with some other not so luxurious fabrics. I'm going to give you some ideas for that. But you know what? I made a really cute mini tree skirt out of just plain old felt. So if you have some fabric on hand, that works great. If not, I picked up some great velvet. It's actually pretty luscious velvet. Velvet's a little bit tricky to sew with. So I'll give you tips for that as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. 21 all over again. Yeah, no, actually, I really don't even wish for that. Life is great, right? So let's get rolling. I'm going to show you the fabrics I have, and you can feel free to ask your questions. I'll go back. You're just stuck with me today. So if I miss one of your questions, just be sure when I come back to the camera to ask again. All right? So let's take a look at the supplies. You can see there in the middle is the red luscious velvet. I am in love with velvet. And this one's not a stretch. So stretch velvet is what you'll probably see me wearing for the next many live shows. Today, I just got back from the store, so you're stuck with my little black knit Rachel twin set pattern that you probably saw me make on It's So Easy TV. And today, by the time I'm done, it's going to be a furry mess. All right, so I'm going to take you over here and let's get started. Take the banner down for you. And again, thanks everyone for the awesome birthday wishes. You're amazing. Okay. So I'm going to be using, this is velvet. It was on sale with a coupon, so not too bad. But if you've never worked with velvet before, if you rub your hand on it, it has what we call a nap. So now for a tree skirt, I don't think it's that important to make sure your nap is the same all the way around. It's almost impossible to do. But if you're making this into a garment, just remember all the pieces have to be cut going one direction, either up or down. It's your choice. The selvage is absolutely gorgeous. It's like this beautiful ribbon. I might have to think if there's something I could use that for. The back is just kind of a, I'll probably finish the back somehow, some way, but it's just a shiny backing. All right, I'll make it just a little bit brighter. There you go. Okay, so I got 2 yards of this. Now, I don't know what size your tree is, but I figure 2 yards is going to work because I took my yardstick and measured from the tip of where my tree is to how long I want my skirt. It was just around 30, for mine it's about 30 inches, but give or take, it depends on the fabric. So this fabric is, let's see how wide this is. When I was so busy grabbing it, I don't think it's as wide as like a felt. So let's check it out. Make this just a little bit further away so you get a little bigger view. There you go. And then I'll show you the other fabrics. This is going to be a really fun project. So if you've got fabric in your stash, it's a great time to use it up. So it's 44 inches wide. So my skirt might not be quite as long as I'd like it to be, but I could piece together some fabrics as well. So I've got some gorgeous red velvet. I went into the costumes section and check this out. It's a stretchy knit. It's a gold. The backside's soft. This side's a little bit rough, but it's got gold sparkles and a light stretch. So I thought this would be fun to add to the top of, maybe on top of this beautiful velvet. I love red and gold. And I also grabbed a few other pieces to see, maybe I'll use this. This is almost like a faux fur. All right, no, that's super hot. Let me make it darker. There you go. The back side feels like felt. The top side feels like faux fur. Remember that faux fur a couple years ago? I know you all remember this, and I don't know if Cindy's watching, but do you remember when I was trying to get little pieces of faux fur to wrap on my top for my ugly Christmas sweater? Yeah, I found a whole bolt of it. But back then it was COVID and we couldn't go anywhere. So now I've got 2 yards of it. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use it all for the skirt, the tree skirt, but we'll see. I just thought of some things that I could piece together to make this look amazing. Now, of course, you could add embroidery or other things, but I'm going to keep this one super basic, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so that's the white kind of a furry mess. As you can see, it's already all over my sweater. Okay, I got 2 yards of that. So far I have 2 yards of everything. I figured that was a safe amount. I've got some ribbon here. This one actually has, as you can see, wire in it, which I would never use for a garment, but a lot of times this ribbon you can use on something like this. You have to be very careful not to stitch on top of the wire. I also got a little package here. Just open that up. See how pretty that is? Now let me put this up against the red just to show you a true color here. Bring it a little brighter. See how pretty that looks? So it has a little shimmer, and then I've got a big one with shimmer. So my idea was to take the pattern and add ribbon through different areas to make it look like it's pieced, but we're going to make this skirt simple, easy, simple and easy. I guess that's the word. Okay, and by the way, for those of you that want to use a less expensive fabric, well, actually, this was felt, but it has some sparkles in it. I think this was still, gosh, I think maybe $10 a yard or something. But you can see this is a little itsy bitsy tree skirt I'm working on. So see if you've got stuff in your stash. By the way, you know where this came from? The Art Spirit app. There is a tree on there, and then I signed my name on the inside for Win and I, and then I'm going to put trees all the way around with my brothers and sisters and their kids. So that's my project for my mini tree. All right, so to get started, I mentioned you have to measure how long you want your skirt. So mine ideally would be 33 inches, but if I don't have enough fabric, I'm going to piece it together and make it work. All right, throw some of this on the floor. Okay, so if I have 2 yards, that will give me fold this in half. I'm folding this in half all the way around. So I folded my fabric in half all the way to the selvage. I'll make you just a wee bit brighter here. I think I can bring this down a little bit further so you can get a little bit more of a view. I know it's like the velvet just is a hot color, I guess. I folded my fabric in half, selvage to selvage, and then I folded, so it's selvage to selvage, and then fold my fabric in half so this folded edge matches up with this folded edge. So here's my selvages, here's my selvages. At my end, I don't know how straight they cut it at the store, so you never know at the end. And then let's go up here So this would be a folded edge right here. Both of these are folded. And now if I bring this around to the top, here's my fold. So again, selvage is over here, selvage is right here. I folded the fabric in half and up here. So this is where I'm going to cut a little bit of a circle so I can get this around my tree. Now, when I do that, the sides are not going to be quite as long as this edge down here. Let me see how long I've got. It's about 34 inches. And the sides are only going to be 24 inches. That's all right. I'll make it work. Now, if you could find fabric that's 60 inches wide, it would solve your whole problem. So on this corner, I'm just going to cut off just a corner edge like this. All right. And when this goes to the center back, I want to have an opening to get around the tree. I think I'll cut that right on a fold. All right, too much fabric right here. There's my hole, and here's my edge. There, now I have, I'll bring you to the big screen so you can see. All right, now I have an opening right here. The front and the back are a little bit longer. That'll be fine because I'm going to cut this and turn it into somewhat of a circular area. And what I'll do is I'll match up the sides. This is going to be cut into an oval. Well, kind of an oval, kind of a circle. So again, I've got my opening here. And there's my 2 yards of fabric. Does that make sense? I know it's hard to see on a small table, so I just want to make sure you got that. Now, I want this to be a circular tree skirt. Say that fast 10 times. My goodness gracious. So if my shortest edge is from the center to the selvage, which you can see, here's the hole where my chin is. There's the edge. I want to measure whatever this measurement is from this hole that I made to the edge and measure that all the way around so I have a nice circle. All right, we'll go back to the table and I'll do that. Let me just check, see if you have any questions for me first. I thought it looks good together too. I agree. Dixie, that's what I was thinking. Add it for snow at the bottom. Yes. Thanks. Hey, Cindy, by the way, I got your top in the mail. Gorgeous. Something we can't share yet, but you guys will see it soon. Yeah, and so the Art Spirit app has that tree in it. And all you have to do is touch it, bring it to your machine, and it will embroider. It's super cute and free. Oh, thanks, Patty. I thought it was pretty cute, too. Great to see you, Kelly. All right, so let's go back to the table, and I'll see if I can make this zoom out just a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. See if I can zoom you out just a smidge so you can see the whole table. Don't get seasick. Wrong way. There. Is that a little better? Now you can kind of get an idea of where everything is on the fabric. Okay, so this is a very crooked line, so I want to straighten this out first of all. I'll just use my scissors. My rotary cutter is on the other side of the room. Okay, so what I was trying to explain is here's my circle right here. You can see this is my selvage. I want to measure how far does this go to the edge, and then I'm going to mark this all the way around like a circle. But I really meant I want it more like an oval, because if this fabric at this end, slide this up. goes all the way to here, I don't want to lose any of this fabric. So it's going to be more of an oval shape, which will be fine. It'll look great under the tree. And if it doesn't, well, too bad. So this side is 33 inches, which is what I wanted. Okay, I know my chalk. I just put this under here. Let me grab another piece. Can you guys hear me okay too? Because I'm kind of a little bit of ways away from the video camera. So this is 33. And let me slide this way so you can watch. And then this side is about right there, 21 and a half. So I want this to be oval, but I want to keep as much fabric as I can. So what I'm doing is marking the ends. As you can see, I'm making this somewhat of an oval. Does that make sense? All right, so let's go ahead and cut this. Now this spot right here is the center. So I'll fold my fabric right here so I can make sure the oval matches on both sides. Yeah, there's other ways you could cut this to make sure that your sides are the same. You could also piece this. But again, I mentioned I wanted to make this a super easy, fast skirt. But I have an idea for you, and I think you're going to like it. All right, so now let's take this and fold this in half along that line I just chalked in. And don't throw away your extra pieces, by the way. This, you can make a really cute, some stockings or something for the table to match. So this edge up here is the folded edge. This was the edge that we cut open. Remember, so this would be the selvage. And I just want to cut along the same exact lines that I just did. I'll keep moving the table around so you can see everything. All right. So here's my oval. I think it's going to look great. So this is the front. Here's the opening. Now, if I were to cut a piece to go with this, I could have another piece that's a little longer right through here to make up for this shorter edge. So let's go ahead and grab some of this white. Let me see what this looks like. This is one of the fun parts of designing as you go. Now I know the white's going to be a little hot on the screen, so close your eyes for a second. Because as soon as the red's on top, it should be fine. Oh, that could look really, really good. Now somebody mentioned placing it along the edge, making it look like snow. Well, I've got another idea for you. How about if we make this the bottom layer and just cut it a little bit bigger, maybe even a little bit wider on the one side that's shorter, so then my entire tree skirt will kind of look like scallops. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm going to fold this in half, kind of just like we did with the velvet. This is my selvage over here. And I'm not going to cut the opening yet, okay? Because it might be in a different spot. Whoops. Focus. We got it. Okay, so this is the opening. Here, I'm going to bring this over to the camera. Close your eyes for a second. It looks like real snow, doesn't it? Okay, so this is what I have so far. It does kind of look like a cape. So this side is longer, and then this side is shorter. Now, what I'm going to do is cut out the white, and then I'm just going to position it, kind of skew it. So then it'll kind of look like scallops for the, I only wanted to use 2 yards. I could have bought more, but this velvet's expensive. So I could also make a cape out of it. All right, let's go back to the white, and then I'll give you some more ideas. Oh, this would be really cute, by the way. I shouldn't have used velvet because now I'm going to want to wear it. There goes the tree skirt. All right, back over to the fabric. I know it's going to be hot for a second, but I'll bring this over and it should darken it up. I know, squirrel. So let's see, which side? I have to fold this whole thing back in half again so I can copy what I did. There's my line that I followed. After I get it straightened out, I'll show it to you. We need like a huge overhead camera. But in the meantime, I'll just keep moving my table around so you can see the whole thing. All right, here we go. I folded this back the way it was. Here's my opening right here, but I'm not going to use that opening for the white. I want the white to be a little bit different. So I'm going to cut everything the same way, and then we'll skew this so it's different. So first I got to copy exactly what I did without making an opening except for the center front at the top. So bring this here. And I want the white to be a little bit longer. So I'll just start cutting about right here. Now I'm just eyeballing this, by the way. But if you want to measure, you can. I'm purposely making this bigger than the red. Okay? That's intentional. I don't think I would use a rotary cutter through all these layers. This is pretty thick. I could see Santa's beard out of this, something fun for some stockings. I definitely am going to keep this, maybe use something for candles. Oh yeah, I don't know. On my show tomorrow, on my page, I have a feeling you're going to see some of these resurrected. Okay, how does that look? That looks pretty good. I know this side up here is a little bit shorter, but that's all right. Now I do need to snip the corner. So up here, let's just snip this. This is just the center. I'm not snipping any openings yet. So if I open this, and I'll just use half of this just so you can see. We bring this back. You can see my gold fabric on the floor, I Spy. And then let's take this. And I'm doing this on the half as well. So see what I mean? How the white can come across? Let me see what it looks like. Make sure I like it. Or, all right, you all can vote. Or should I keep them both exactly the same and just have the white sticking out just a little bit? What do you think? White sticking out? Or skew it where there's white and then no white? I think I know what I want, but I'll see what you all say. White sticking out evenly, or because you know what? Do you know how hard it is to sew something on the edge of this entire circle, that'd be really tricky. You can't use a straight piece of fabric. You can either use bias or you can cut a strip to go along the outside. If my thinking was if I use this as the bottom layer, then I have 2 layers and a 3rd layer with the gold. And also I can finish the edges of, which you'll see how I'm going to finish the edges of the opening. What do you think? White out all, oh, I think all of you. Glenda says not even. Otherwise, I think it's about 90% white all the way around. White sticking out, white sticking out, white sticking all the way around. I think that's the consensus here. All right. I agree. So now we have to cut our gold piece, and we need to mark where we're going to put our trim before we can sew all this together. All right? Gosh, 30 minutes already went by. Ah, well, it is birthday week. It's kind of like we can sew all week, right? Lois, I'm not so sure about the gold, but only because it looks green. It's not green. It's really gold. It's really gold. Yeah. And actually, when I put it together in the store, the silver did not look good. The gold looked really rich. All right, Roz, I'm with you. We're doing it all the way around. So now we need to cut our opening. So I'll take you back over here. Can you guys see my table? Hopefully, okay. I keep moving you around just so you can see the edge. It's kind of a big skirt. I just saw somebody say, are you making a comfy? Well, this is not comfy. This is really a tree skirt. I'm really not going to wear it, but it was kind of a good idea, I thought. All right, so let me line this up to make sure, because I'll just make it even all the way around. That's fine. So the sides for my skirt are going to be just a little bit shorter. It won't matter. I'll just put more gifts on that side. Plus, who needs a perfect circle for their tree skirt anyways, right? Well, if you do, then you would just need a little bit more yardage so you can combine this together. You would want a seam. If you decided you want a full circle, you would need a seam going down the center, which you could cover up with the ribbon, by the way. But again, this velvet was pretty expensive, so I didn't want to kind of go that route. All right. All the way around. It's going to be even. It's going to look fantastic. So now I need to make sure that my opening for the white is the same, because that's how I'll finish my seams, which it looks like right here. Let's see, which side are you on? I'm just opening one side to match the opening on the red, okay? That's all you're missing right here. Okay, so my red is inside out to make it not quite so hot on the camera. And now I want a piece of gold. This is a really slinky, it's a knit. So you won't have to finish the edges on this, it won't fray. It does make some sparkles around. Now this piece is really wide, so I'll have to just trim this off. I only want a really small piece of this, and I don't want to waste. I could probably make a tank top as well. Maybe. Okay, so I folded my fabric in half just like we had with the others, except this one's really wide. Now, if you're really confused, all you have to do is take a circle. Take a piece of paper and make yourself a big circle. That's all I'm making, are semicircles, and then it turns into one big circle. That makes sense? All right. Slide this up here. Boy, this was a really wide fabric. So I'm just trying to line up where this circle opening is. Okay, still I want this to be just a little touch in the center, not taking up all, I don't want to cover up all that beautiful red velvet, right? So I'm lining this up along my, you can see my chalk mark here for my line. Okay, and I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm cutting somewhat of a same type of oval, being very careful not to capture the underneath piece. Now you could hem this if you wanted to. You don't have to keep it just a raw edge. But knits don't, this knit won't fray. So as long as I have somewhat of a straight edge, and I also need to cut an opening to match. Make sure I'm cutting the right piece here. All right, so I've got 3 openings on each, well, 3 openings, 3 pieces of fabric, each with 1 opening. So let's just open this and see what we got. There you go. White all the way around. And now the gold. And this gold will kind of just be a little bit like a fancy gold on the top. But you'll see how this ties in. You don't have to have the top piece. I just thought it would kind of like really make this look really attractive. I love this fabric. I have to quit thinking of clothes or I'll end up using this for garments. All right, so what are we going to do with this? Picture this, just rows of this going up and down the tree skirt. And then a few more rows going this way. Then this gold, which is exactly the same, even if it doesn't look like it on your screen. I've got a ton of rows of these coming out. And then the gold on the top. I think that's going to look cute. Right now it looks like a big mess, but don't worry. Okay, so the next thing I got to do is draw myself some lines as a guide on my velvet. All right. I knew this fell on the floor. So starting with, I don't know how much ribbon I have, so I'll just give myself a few random lines. If you want to measure and you want them all to be exactly the same, have at it. See that chalk line? Just barely. All right. Let's keep this going around. Now I'm not going to sew the white. I'm only going to sew the red here. I just am leaving the white underneath it right now just so I can kind of get a, gives me a little bit of a base. Scissors out of the way. Now again, if you wanted this to be one full circle, you would have a seam somewhere around here to keep this, so you could have one big piece of fabric. So you might want to put one of these ribbons across that seam if you end up having to piece fabric together. Those of you that like to quilt, this could be a great quilting project. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm going to give you some more ideas. Those of you that have the Luminaire 3 or the upgrade, tapering stitches. Oh yeah, this would be an amazing tapering stitch instead of ribbon. Use embroidery thread. Okay, a few more. We're getting around the end. In case you can't see, all I'm doing is giving myself some chalk marks as a guide. So at least my ribbon will go on straight. And I made it all the way around. the entire piece of fabric. Okay. Whew, that's white like snow. That white makes it super hot, doesn't it? Okay. You can see my markings. They're not measured. I just randomly did that because you're going to have gifts under there. I mean, hopefully. Or, I don't know, your cat's going to cover it up. All right, so now I'm going to go to the machine. I don't know how much ribbon I have. They only had one of each. I was a little bummed, but that was the only color I liked. So I'm going to start with the center front. So if this opening is the center back, or depending on how you do it, but it would probably be the center back, I'm going to start with the front. I'm going to use a thin ribbon, thin, thick, thin, thick. Make sense? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Kelly. Decorative stitches with metallic, gold metallic would be gorgeous. Yeah, presents will hide the boo-boos. Does it really look like lime green on there? That's so funny. All right, so let's go to the sewing machine. I'll get you off that really bright fabric. And you know what happens with the sewing machine? Sometimes it decides to go blinky on me. So hopefully it'll behave today. So I'll meet you over there. There's my ribbon. And I did buy some thread. Lighter weight thread to use because this matched the ribbon pretty good. So the back side I can keep my dark burgundy. The top side I'll put in my embroidery thread just to make sure it blends in with this. All right. You know, I just threaded this right before we went live, forgetting that I'm going to be doing the ribbon first. So I'll leave the bobbin thread though. I had to change it from my twin needle fashion sewing club. I wore my sweater 3 times this weekend. I love it. That's what we're working on today at 2 as well. Fashion sewing club. Don't forget. I forgot to mention that when we started. I planned all the fun live shows today for my birthday. All right, so let me make sure that this isn't too dark for you. Bring you just a little lighter. Is that a little better? Okay, I'm just going to use a straight stitch. Again, I'm starting on the opposite end of where my opening is. Because I don't know exactly how I'm going to use that gold fabric, I might even change my mind. I'm going to start stitching right at the hole opening, okay? Which side's the right side? There's always a right side to the ribbon. And I'm just going to stitch down each side. We are going to stitch down each side of the ribbon to secure it. Oh my gosh, this is, I don't know if you can see how sparkly this is on the velvet. Oh, I need an outfit out of this. This is so cute. I think I know what I'll be showing next week. I am making, not a cape, but on Friday we have an online virtual event going on, and I'm making a cape out of a sweater knit, but I'm thinking this velvet would be just gorgeous out of this. All right. So it's kind of stitching right down the center. I'm not sure that was my plan. It is a slippery ribbon. I should probably use the move it foot for this. So you can see my lines over here. I'm just following where the ribbon's taking me. Being very careful not to pucker the fabric underneath. And yes, if you have the move it foot, this would be the ideal place to do that because the bottom side of this velvet is really slippery. to the end. Now, make sure that this didn't pucker at all. No, but it did not capture the whole way. So I'm going to leave that one for now. And I'm switching to my Move It foot, and I'm going to tear that one out, not live with you, and we'll start with the next one. How's that? You know, some of these extra feet that brother comes out with, you think, when am I going to use that? Well, this is a perfect example. All right, get that in there. Don't forget to plug it in the back. And I know some of you are on other machines like the Still Air, the Dream Machine. Don't forget to use this foot. All right, let's try that again, because that I don't like. But I'll leave it on there for now just for the looks of it. I'm going to, why don't we use one of the wider ones for this next batch. And I think this time I'm going to grab a zigzag stitch just to make sure I stay away from this metal part here. Remember, this is kind of like a, what do you call that, wire? I don't want to stitch on that. Stitch length, much longer. It doesn't need to be narrow. I'm just attaching this. Oh, much better. Oh, gotta love the Move It foot. And by the way, if any of you have been afraid to use that foot, make sure that it's engaged. Yep. You can test it on just a sample piece of fabric, and then you can change settings on your machine if for any reason it's pulling or if it's not stitching the way you want it to. And no, the Move It foot is not the same as a walking foot. Okay, some of you are new to the Brothers Show and haven't seen us use this foot yet. What a difference a foot makes. Woohoo! Now, I haven't decided how I'm going to finish these edges yet. I'm either going to tuck them under. I might just add a light. They're not fraying, so I could just leave it raw too. But if I do that, I want to make sure that when I cut off my ribbon here, that I leave just a little bit extra. So if I decide not to hem this, I can tuck this under and it'll make, at least the ribbon will look finished. Make sense? All right, so let's go down the second row of this. I'm just going to do a few of these just to give you an idea. And then I'll show you how I'll finish the edges, because we have that opening edge on all three, right? That has to be finished nicely. And I've got a great idea for it. Make sure I've got one thread. There we go. So are you making, by the way, anything exciting for the holidays that you're doing home deck or sewing something unique? I always love to hear if anybody has good ideas for that. All right, now that's tucked under, so that should be fine. I'm doing one stay stitch. And I'll take this to the ironing board too, just to make sure it lays in it. Oh, that's really nice looking. Much better than this old guy over here. But if I press this and it doesn't pucker, I might leave it. But for now, we're gonna leave it. Okay, I kind of like the thinner ribbon the best, to be honest, as I'm looking at it on here. That's the beauty of some of these projects. You don't know till you're finished. All right, starting at the middle again. This time, because this ribbon I'm sure is going to stay down just fine, I'm going to just use that big zigzag stitch. Why don't we just do that? Then I don't have to do 2 rows of stitching. So I'm going to make the width just a wee, as wide as it'll go. Make sure that it fits inside this foot. It does beautifully. And the length, I've got a 4.0. So I'm using a stitch length of 6.5 on this. So just check your machine. I don't know how wide your machine will allow you to go. This is the new Move It foot in case you didn't notice. So this foot right here, it's a little bit shorter than the past one. So the fabric doesn't get bunched up underneath there, especially if I get my jeans out of the way. I'm sewing some jeans on the back table. Looking good. I'm going to raise up my presser foot. Let's just snip some of this off. Actually, I'm going to cut that. Take this, tuck it under. Do one more stitch here to make sure that that edge is finished. Oops, I'm using my dual foot and I accidentally hit the foot to the right, which cuts the thread. That's not what I wanted. Oh, this looks great. Now you can kind of see the sparkle. All right, so let me see if I like the combination of the big with the small. Yeah, I don't mind it. All right, so let's go a few more. Might as well just keep doing it until we run out of ribbon, right? Here's the wide one. I'm still doing the happy dance for the Move It foot. What a difference that made. You saw how that first stitch looked, just terrible. And again, the back side of this is super, super soft. Slinky, I guess would be a better word. If you have any problems while you're stitching on this velvet, if you're using a velvet like this, go slower. You could also change your tension just a little bit. But again, if you've got the Move It foot, just grab it. Save you a little bit of hassle. All right, so I'm going to take this and fold it so it matches the edge. All right, that looks good. I'll do one more row after this, and then I'll show you how I'm going to finish the edges. I don't think you have to watch me sew all of these on, but I will finish them because the tree just went up and I need a skirt. This looks great. Notice I'm not using any pins. If you line up your ribbon and you're just so straight, it should just go on there fine. You don't need to worry about using pins, especially on velvet. All right. And don't forget, because this has a metal, this has the metal on the edge, I could scrunch up my skirt if I want to underneath my tree. It has the wire. All right, let's grab one more short one, and we'll finish our edges. So just a question, since you see I keep accidentally clicking my foot to the right, which cuts my thread. Do you use your multi-function foot, the dual foot? And what do you keep your settings at? I have one for doing the foot up and down, and then I have one for cutting the thread, just out of curiosity. Those are the things I seem to use all the time. My sister says hi to you guys. Hi, Julie. All right, again, get to the end. Let's trim a little bit of this. And I will finish this skirt. If I don't put it on the tree tonight, I'll take a photo. I mean, if I do put it on the tree. If I don't, I'll bring it on my live show tomorrow so you can see what it ends up looking like. All right, so we've got lots of gold. Let's go back to the table and I'll show you how to finish that back edge. All right. Are you having fun? Glitter everywhere. I know. Hi, Trudy. I see you're new here. Ask away. I can see you. I have sparkly hands. I've got sparkle everywhere. Whew. Up my nose. Everywhere. Okay. They are turning sparkly. Fashion Sewing Club, when I have a sparkle this afternoon, you're going to know why. All right, so let's see what we got. Now, this is the one I didn't like right here. I'm going to rip that out. Boy, this is like Christmas glitter. Fun. All right, so I've got tons of these. I could press these out if I want, but don't forget, because I used some of these with the wire, I could scrunch up my skirt under the tree, which would look super cute. But how are we going to finish this edge here? So my idea is to put the gold fabric on top and then the white fabric and sandwich them and sew it like one nice seam all the way around the edge. Now, I'm not going to sew the entire circle because I'm still going to put some more of this ribbon on. But let me show you how I'm going to do this. I think it'll work out great. I agree, Shirley. I can see it on my nose. My nose is sparkling. If I start sneezing, I agree. Okay, so let's go to the table. And I know that there's white fabric on there right now, but I will bring this over so it's not so hot. I think this is going to be fun. So this is the one that has the wire in it. So I could scrunch this up underneath the tree. I never even thought about that. That would be super, super cute. Scrunch, scrunch. Yeah. Okay. So layer your red first. I want to finish this open edge here. This is what I'm trying to talk about. Take my white fabric off. Go ahead and put your gold fabric on if you decide to use it. Oop, that's not the right piece. Here's the gold. And again, once this is on the tree, if this is scrunched up, this will be all scrunched up as well. You just have to trust me. I'll take a photo. All right, so this needs to layer on top. So you got the red, and then you could use tulle fabric. That'd be pretty. The only part I'm not going to totally finish is this circle because I still have a few more pieces. Well, I guess you wouldn't see it because this will cover it up. Yeah, I'll just sew the whole thing. So this is all scrunchy, but what you want to have flat here is your opening here and your opening here. So if you're going to use tulle or anything else, put your red fabric first, then put your next fabric. These are all right sides up, okay? Next, I'm going to put the white with the right side down. We're going to make a nice seam, and then I can sandwich it, flip it right side out. So furry side down. Now the white's going to go on the top, so hopefully it doesn't go too hot on the camera for you. It's a lot of layers here. So fur side down. Velvet up, knit up, this down. I'm just going to throw a few pins in here. Better throw a few pins just to hold this sandwich together. Now, if you're going to hem that red velvet or do anything else with that, you'd want to do that before you sandwich these. I just want to show you the last step on here. And then whenever we're finished with our live show today, I'm going to go back and keep sewing away on this. Okay, let's get this. What seam allowance? I would probably use at least a ½ inch. You've got a lot of layers in here. Make sure you capture, especially that if you're using the knit or something on top of that velvet, make sure that doesn't get pushed in and you miss the seam. All right, you're going to stitch all the way up, around, and back down. Got a few minutes, so I'll go ahead and just finish that. Just so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to use a basting stitch for this just because in case I need to rip it out so I can finish doing all my ribbon. I think this is going to be beautiful. All right. I don't need to stitch down at the bottom here. Just start where your red velvet is. I changed to a straight stitch. Again, I'm going to use a basting stitch just so I can get this put together so you can see what it looks like. Oh, I got to move my foot pedal. I keep clicking the wrong thing. The move it foot's definitely going to come in handy for this. Sewing through all these layers with no problem. And I know the white's on the top, so let's see if I can make it just a little darker. Is that better? I've got my knit fabric sticking out just a little bit, just so I can make sure that I capture it as I go through here. Make sure you get your pins out of the way. Never sew over pins, or at least try not to. I know it's really dark now, but at least it's not super bright on you. You have to be medium when you're sewing on white, right? Okay, now I'm still using yellow thread, so you're going to see this quite fine. Quite fine. Is that your new word for the day? All right, let me brighten you up just a little bit. Whoops, sorry. There you go. See the white? Stitch looks pretty good. So let's go back to the table. Whoops, I've got ribbon all over. The ribbon is sticking to the faux fur. Oh, goodness. It is. Okay, so this is what I have. Thought you'd appreciate this, like really far out, all right? This is what I've got. Does that make sense now that you see it from afar away? So I've got the red layered with the knit. Now, because of the way I layered it, now I can flip this around. Oh my gosh. If my nieces were here, they would think this was like the best cape ever. Oh, thanks, Michelle. See what we got? So this is the opening in the back. I've got my knit. You don't have to use the knit. And I'll have all of these sneaking out. So this is kind of, I will definitely take a picture for you. Let's go to the table and I'll show you just a little bit. Are you turning the white to the back? Yeah, so I turned the white to the back. But did I do it wrong? I did. Dag nabbit. The furry side is facing down. I guess they all should. Well, at least you're watching and you're going to go do this later, right? Let's go to the table. Oh my. Oh my. Well, it was a basting stitch, so I can rip it out. So if anyone's going to make a mistake, let it be me, right? All right, take a look and I'll show you what I did wrong. The furry side of this is facing down. I want it to face up. So they all should have been facing the right way instead of this facing the other way. Does that make sense? So once I have this, we'll pretend for now that it's the right way. I'll be ripping out as soon as I hang up here. So there's my opening for the back. This is going to be really cute. I'm definitely going to run something along the edge because I can just see the velvet start to fray a little bit. So I have an idea. Since our hour is already up, I'm going to finish this. I'll rip out what I did wrong, and I'll show you how I finish the edges tomorrow on tomorrow's live show on my channel. How's that? Because there's still a lot more to do here. So in the meantime, here's all my ribbon. You can see around the side. Looks really cute, doesn't it? So under my tree, this could be scrunched up, and this will be scrunched up, and then the snow will be nice and flat. That's the idea we're going for. Or if you have children, it might make a great cape. But I do like this ribbon on here. It's definitely sparkly. Once I have the fur facing the right direction, this will be furry too. And then you have little gifts. Now, I could embroider maybe some stars on here. Ooh. Lots more to think about. So that's the beginning. That's the beginning. You have to give me at least a love emoji for that because my faux fur is facing the wrong way. Hey, Trish, if you want to watch tomorrow, it's on at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on my page. Go to Angela Wolf, and it'll be on my Facebook and my YouTube. And I think we should just do a part 2 for this because I, number one, want my faux fur facing up. Number two, I'm going to go ahead and stitch all my rows of ribbon. So if you're following along, that will give you time to go grab fabric, get started, sew all your rows of ribbon. And tomorrow, I think tomorrow we should add some embroidery. I've got sparkles on my nose. We should add some embroidery. I'll show you how to embroider on velvet and how to finish the edges of that velvet so it looks nice. I have a few ideas for that, but trust me, I'll be testing it before I see you. Surely that makes me feel better. Thanks, guys. A royal tree skirt. I agree. It's just beautiful, but I definitely want more rows of that gold ribbon. It's just beautiful. Now I'm going to have to find wrapping paper to match. All right, any questions for me before I go? Oh, thanks, Christy. So tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my page, I will finish this up and give you some more ideas for some embroidery and see what it looks like. What bobbin did I use? I just used regular thread, regular sewing thread in the bobbin, Diane. And I used embroidery thread on the top because I wanted it to blend in. And this is birthday week, Stacy. It is birthday week. All right, any other questions for me before I let you all run? Oh, you guys are great. So what's the schedule? Oh, Julia, what a great idea. Serge the edges with gold in the loopers. Ooh, I kind of like that a lot. Okay, so embroidery we'll do tomorrow. I'll test the serging to see if it looks good. I really like that idea though. And embroidery on velvet. So thread for the bobbin, for the embroidery. If I'm doing embroidery, when I do embroidery tomorrow, I'll be using just standard bobbin thread for embroidery. I think it's like, oh gosh, off the top of my head, I cannot think of what the weight is. But I will get it for you for tomorrow so you know, Diane. Make sense? But for the sewing, I just use regular sewing thread for this. Patty, use a heavier thread in the serger. I do have a gold woolly, see that thread rack behind me? I'm pretty sure I have a gold color woolly poly. That would look good. Oh, Julia, we're on the same page. Love it. Love your name too. All right, any other questions for me? I keep rubbing my nose. Do you think I'm gonna have sparkles for a longer stitch for the serger? I don't know, I'm gonna test it and see. We'll see what it looks like. I know the new air threader is not out yet, but if it was, they have a 2-thread stitch, which we did in the master class for that. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But I'm not waiting till January when those ship to finish the edges. But next year I might have to cut off the edge and finish it this way. Ooh, couching would look good. All right, any others? Okay, guys. So the schedule for the week is today's Tuesday. Brother, thank you for letting your brand ambassadors take over the page. Tomorrow, or Fashion Sewing Club, I will see you this afternoon at 2. Tomorrow, 1:30 on my page. We will finish this thing up, and I might have some other good ideas for it too. Once I start playing around, you never know what might come up. And Friday, well, Thursday, Jane's coming on with more holiday gift ideas for you. And Friday, we have a fun event. If you got my newsletter, it was in there. Joanne's going to be on there. Heather will be on there. Reen, Rhonda, Karina. We're going to be, it's a whole day of sewing fabulous, I was going to say fabulous sparkles. Well, it might be sparkly, but fabulous holiday gifts. We'd love to have you join us. If you want information, just message me and I can help you. You will see me in an hour, Shirley. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. So great to see you. Thanks for hanging out. And tree skirt part 2 tomorrow. All right, don't forget, by the way, to share your projects. I forgot to mention that. Using hashtag Brother Sews. Brother loves to see what you're working on, especially if you make something cool like this or like the one I showed you earlier with the Art Spear app. Don't forget about that. Oh, Trudy, your husband has a great birthday today. Great day. The dream team. Thanks, Stacy. Great to see you. All right, everyone, have a great day. Talk soon. Bye.